Hello VC, and welcome back to another video, this time discussing the recent Acoustic Sounds Series release of Jazz Samba. Now, before we get into the discussion and breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel grow, helps us get seen by more eyes. Thank you once again for watching, and roll the intro. So, Jazz Samba. This is one of the first jazz recordings I ever purchased, the Vinyl Me Please version, which this is not, but this is the Acoustic Sounds. I did a direct sound comparison, and I'll put a couple clips in this video, and you decide what you like better. The jackets are quite close, and I will talk about them right about now. Quality, I just wanted to dive into the jacket differences of these two records. Now here's the Acoustic Sounds Series version. Right at the top you're getting the stereo indicator, the Verve catalog number, V68432, printed in USA, Verve High Fidelity Contemporary Music down here. Very deep red sort of cover. Now comparing that with the Vinyl Me Please on the left. Vinyl Me Please is more like a pinkish hue, and it's more detailed. The Acoustic Sound Series looks more, the painting or whatever this is, I'm not even sure if it's a drawing or a painting, it looks more enlarged and blown up. It's colored differently, and you lose some of that visual detail. And on the VMP here, you're missing the Verve catalog number, and the printed in USA is absent on the Verve as well. You also have a different colored gray here on the VMP. This is more like a stone gray, where this almost bleeds into like a slate or black. And that's really the differences for the front covers. I do prefer the VMP just because that cover image is sharper. And then comparing sort of the back of the records here, pretty much the same. Vinyl Me Please, you get this foil stamp VMP Classics, whereas the Acoustic Sound Series you do not. Both have barcodes, albeit different credits. The VMP credits Universal Special Markets, whereas the Acoustic Sounds does not credit. It just credits Universal Music Company. And again, the typeface is sort of a different color on the back. Now, flipping into the gatefold here on the VMP, you have a fully glossy gatefold on the Vinyl Me Please. It looks very nice. It looks like original photos or a high quality scan of the jacket. All gloss. It's sort of a little bendy, which I'll bring the Acoustic Sounds up in a second here. And on the Acoustic Sounds, they went with an all matte insert, deeper blacks here, not as much grain. But if you can see on the right here, the photos are oddly cropped. You can see a part of the head cropped, and nearly all of the saxophone. So kind of odd choice to crop that there. Not really a fan of that. Cardstock seems almost the same. I mean, the only difference is this was probably done somewhere in... This was done, obviously it's Stoughton Printing in the US, and this one was done in the European Union. Now, for the records, we have the Vinyl Me Please up first. Here is the label, crediting again Universal Special Markets. Both are black, solid black vinyl, dead quiet, flat pressings. The Vinyl Me Please here pressed at GZ Media in the Czech Republic, and the AS series, which I'll pull up in a second, was pressed at Quality Record Pressings in Salina, Kansas. The only issue with this VMP is I tried to align a stylus on it quite some time ago and ended up scratching the record, so there's quite a few ticks through the first track, but that's really unfortunate. But don't align styluses when you have a record on the table. And here is the Acoustic Sounds Series copy. Almost an identical label, except you're missing the Universal Special Markets indicator, and they also include the Verve catalog numbers here on this particular pressing. Again, really flawless pressings. Awesome job here. Really can't complain of the quality of either record. Now the VMP version comes with these cool little listening notes here by Natalie Weiner. So it tells you all about the album. And this was a really cool touch. I'm not sure if Vinyl Me Please still does stuff like this. I haven't subscribed for many years. But it just really gives you cool insight on the album. Something that the Acoustic Sound Series copy does not have. Very cool little addition to the overall experience of the record. Minimal differences in the jackets. I'd say this, in terms of style, is a little bit more faithful to the original, the Acoustic Sounds, but I do prefer the VMP just because there's some odd cropping and sort of zooming issues on here. You lose a lot of the detail of this front panel, and also their oddly cropped photos on the inside of the jacket. But other than that, both records are flat, quiet, and clean. Can't ask for much more. Both are very high quality reissues. Now, in my listening, the Acoustic Sound Series copy is better. That's not to say that the VMP is bad. The VMP is a fine release. And if you already have the Vinyl Me Please version, I would not spring $40 for the Acoustic Sounds just because they're that close. What really sticks out to me in the Acoustic Sound Series version is the finer details, the percussion, the hits on the rim of the drum, everything just kind of pops out more. It's more three-dimensional, more detailed. It feels like, I'm in a live performance. I'm hearing the music up close and more intimate, whereas the VMP feels like I'm hearing it play back through, someone else, through a studio setting. The Acoustic Sound Series is more inviting, more involving with the listener, and overall just more punch, more dynamics, and better sounding. But not by much. I'm not trying to make my language seem like that this is some sort of revelation in recordings. So, if you really love the record and you already have multiple copies, I'm sure you're going to be picking it up anyways. But that's just for some food for thought. If your budget is tight and you perhaps are saving money for another release and you already have a copy or multiple copies of this album, I would skip this and stick with what you have right now. Now, I don't have the 45 RPM Analog Productions. I'm sure that version is killer and probably the best sounding version you can get. And I don't have an original to compare the jackets to, so it's hard to really get an idea. I know my comparison just touched on the differences, but it's hard to get an idea of what the original version looked like without owning it, so I can't really comment on which is closer to the original pressing in terms of jacket quality. But both are awesome. Both sound absolutely phenomenal. This is one of the most accessible and one of the most fun jazz records to listen to. You put this on in a room and people will have a good time. It's not very eclectic. It's not hard to get into. You don't need deep understanding of the minutiae of players or anything like that. It's just a fun, easy, cool record to listen to. And I haven't purchased everything from the Acoustic Sounds series. This is probably my first in about a year. A lot of the stuff wasn't really exciting me. I didn't purchase the Billie Holiday. I'm not a huge jazz vocal fan, but this is a good reissue. And if you don't have a copy, I would recommend going for this one. If you prefer 45 RPM, grab the Analog Productions 45 RPM. I'm not sure if the Vinyl Me Please is still available even, because I did get that back in 2018. I think it came out in 2017, so I'm not sure if it's still being pressed or still available. So if it's hard to get or prohibitively expensive, don't spring for it. In my sound comparison, I did give this the edge. This is cut from the original master tapes by Ryan K. Smith at Sterling Sound in Nashville, Tennessee. And pressed at Quality Record Pressings in Salina, Kansas. So you're getting a totally American-made product here. The Vinyl Me Please is pressed at GZ Media in the Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia, whatever they call it these days. Not sure where the jacket is made. Somewhere in the European Union, I'm sure. And interestingly enough, the runouts on the VMP don't discern any information on where the record was mastered or how it was mastered or who mastered it. It's just some numbers in the runout, so I can't really say who made it sound the way it did. I'm not sure if it was a digital file provided. I'm not sure if they recorded a CD and pressed it to vinyl. It's tough to tell, but it's still a good sounding pressing. But I just can't. I'm not sure what source was used, if it's a needle drop or whatever. So keep that in mind when making your purchasing decision. But this reissue gets a thumbs up from me. If it's in your budget and you were on the fence or you were a fan of this record, I would purchase this, no doubt. Thanks again for watching. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the samples, which version you prefer. I won't disclose currently what those two samples are. I'll leave it up to your interpretation and see what you like better.